UKLC is presented by Barclays and Curry's PC World.
Hello and welcome back to the UKLC. We're kicking it off with our fourth and final game. Kicking off and getting ready for our fourth and final game between London and Bulldog. Now, Orcs, London obviously are a team who have been playing pretty well. They did obviously drop one game, but they are still one of our top teams and one of the favorites coming into this league. Bulldog currently 0-3, but oh my word, did they challenge yesterday? They played, who did they play versus?
Enclave.
Enclave, thank you. They played versus Enclave, and they really challenged Enclave. It looked like Enclave may have been getting their first loss of the season there. And obviously, they did drop a game today, but even so, Bulldog looking pretty good.
I think that's the thing, is that if Enclave had stomped today, I'd be like, wow, Bulldog are the real deal. But Enclave looked bad today as well. So, I mean, it kind of takes away from the whole Bulldog redemption story arc if Enclave are just looking a bit rough. And on top of that, Bulldog didn't even win against Enclave. I mean, that just blows my mind. That game was theirs. That game was absolutely theirs. Enemy team has a poke composition. It goes super late. It's like I just don't get it. It's just like, I mean, I know why. Obviously, there were some critical moments coming out from Enclave. Jacob, the mid laner Jacob for Enclave, not Jacob the AD carry for Bulldog, was huge on the Zoe and found a great pick. And in the end, it just showed the experience of Enclave overwhelmed.
Yeah, but I also think Jacob, bot lane Jacob, Bulldog Jacob had a good game as well. I think he was playing the Ezreal.
Yeah,
he had a really stellar go of it. Obviously for
until
the
he
side,
got one hit.
Pardon?
Until he got one hit by
true. He did get, unfortunately for him. But you know, let's actually take a dive into this game now. Moving on from yesterday's game, London are one of the stronger teams. We're looking down the rosters, we're looking down at who's here. There's a lot of names that you'll know. Bear Tree in the top lane, obviously Chimera in the mid, Raisins bot lane as well. There's people who've been playing in the league for a while. So I'm excited to see this game. Chimera probably has a broken back from carrying yesterday's game for London though, because everywhere else wasn't going particularly great, but man did Chimera pop off.
Yeah, I think the draft was slightly greedy. They didn't really have answers in the side lane, and they were banking on Golden God and Raisins, not really get punished in lane, which they did. But they just kept grouping, and as you said, Chimera was just a huge mid gap. I do think Bulldog's mid laner Thomas Go was doing a lot of work as well, so this could be a really interesting matchup. But ultimately, for me, London are by far the best team in the league, maybe for like 30 minutes a week. But the rest of the time, it's like, I don't know how a roster this stacked just somehow manages to drop gains in ways, or just make plays when I'm like, what is going on? Like, individually, this roster is insane, but they are not delivering is the big thing. This London roster is not delivering to expectations. And I mean, Bulldog could be able to challenge them on that. Now, my concern for Bulldog is Fortel. I think he really had a bad game yesterday, despite the fact they got ahead of Enclave. So if he can withstand Warden, I'm hoping we get a good matchup between Thomas Go and Chimera. And then it just depends, which London do we get? Do we get best team in the league London, or do we get not best team in the league London, which leaves a lot to be desired. So I guess draft is going to be a big factor as well, and we'll get to see how that plays out.
Yeah, we'll get to find out which London is showing up today, and maybe even which Bulldog is showing up today. After this break, we'll be back with the Champ Select and the last game of the day. So don't go anywhere. We will see you after this break. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC. We are into Champ Select. We are ready to go for our fourth and final game of the day. It's London on the blue side, Bulldog on the red, and we're starting out with a set ban.
Yeah, pretty common one. Often seeing that one getting taken away because of its flexibility. Graves answered out, something that, either side we're getting fast bans coming out here. Volibear taking out the table. There's still the likes of the Varus. The Philios does get taken away. Syndra, I'm looking at as one of the remaining champions. And then we've seen a couple of bans towards the supports today. The Thresh, the Yuumi, the Lulu. All possible options.
Alrighty. Well, Chimera also hinted that he wants to play the Anivia again. I don't know if he was memeing or I don't know if he's actually serious. I know he's pretty good on that pick.
I guarantee he will hover it.
Oh, he'll definitely hover it, yeah. So there goes the Wukong. So now we're looking towards the last ban. The Trundle comes out from the side of Bulldog, and this means the Varus, the Fresh, the Syndra, Graves is banned, so not the Graves, but a lot of other things have been left open here. The Ornn is still open. Beartree showed like yesterday versus Rifty. He's very okay to play this weak side, but for now, the Syndra, a good flexible pick, is going to get picked up for London.
It is really weird to me that we're seeing triple top lane bans from London, because Kara is not the sort of player that I think, oh, wow, Kara, it's not like Rifty, I'd understand that against Rifty, but Kara, especially in the qualifier tournaments, tended to play a weak side Maokai or Soraka, so weird to me that they're banning away those, but maybe they have something planned, maybe they have information that I don't have available. For now, Ezreal going to come out from Bulldog, so potentially a risk if the Syndra goes bot lane, because of the priority, but not going to be Ezreal Yuumi. A quick Ezreal Thresh show a lot of safety in that bot lane already. And it does remove the Thresh, which we often see paired up with Syndra bot lane, just to secure that extra element of safety when you go for the heavy engage. Now, London have options in this situation. They can answer with an AD carry in this situation, or they can keep the Syndra Flex alive, and they can go towards the jungle.
Feel like you're going to pick up something that will maybe not give away this lane. And the Blitzcrank is something we do see typically picked up into the Fresh. People are considering it as a counter to him. And, there's the hover. But we don't know whether or not we're going to see the Syndra in the mid or the bot side. And I expect this to, like you said, be the jungle picked up here.
For me, Blitzcrank good into the Thresh. Terrible into the Ezreal. It is the worst matchup. So a bit of an interesting one that they're still committing to it anyway. And they're going to go the Misfortune as well. So they are looking to punish this Thresh as the outlier in the lane. Whether they manage to achieve that or not is the big question. Thresh will get higher value as the game goes on. Blitzcrank is really great at roams, really great at that early impact, and can find those massive grabs. But Thresh has a lot more overall utility. And early composition from London so far. We do see the Syndra come out from Bulldog. So typically we saw, the Echo as a counter to the Syndra. Typically it's something we see quite frequently in previous patches in that matchup. Not so much on the current state of the meta do we see it as much as a counter, but Bulldog willing to bring it out. And I said this mid lane matchup between Chimera and Thomas Go was going to be interesting, and it very much just got to be that way.
Alrighty, well, now we're moving into the ban phase 2. Not quite as quick this time around. The Scion is going to get removed. We saw Beartree have a pretty good game on it yesterday. Like we said, it was the fact of a disabled Rifty from actually cracking open the base and winning the game. Now, London looking to ban away. What do they want to take away? Because it's only top lanes and jungles left open at this point. So maybe they look to pinch into that top lane pool even more. There's currently been 4 bans towards top lane. Make that 5 with the Ornn taken away. If we see something like the Maokai go away, then you are starting to force Kira down the meta, really. Unless there's something maybe he's not as comfortable picking.
In theory, yeah, but he has shown, the fact that banning all this way and Maokai still open, it isn't really too much of a concern, unless they're trying to force them on it, but this seems a very weird way to do so. That Echo can be flexed to jungle, so as much as we say mid has been picked for Bulldog, not necessarily. It still is going to cause issues for Chimera and the Syndra, even if it is in the jungle. Lee Sin going to get banned away from Warden now, so really thinning out the pool of junglers. We'll have to see if they go for another top lane ban in the situation. The Maokai could just be the one for Kera to deny that away from him. But we'll see.
Alrighty, well. London thinking this through. You're going to ban away the Renekton from Kira. This does mean, like you said, that Maokai's left open. And maybe, like you hinting, this is just them trying to force him onto it. And then pick something that they can deal with the Maokai with in lane for Beartree. We'll have to see what they want to opt for. Because a lot of the jungle pool has been thinned out here. And I'm curious to see what the answer is for London and what Bulldog are looking for.
Yeah, I think Java makes sense. The enemy team's got immobile carries. Just throw that in. It's not really ever going to be a bad pick. It works well with the Ezreal as well because you can line up a True Shot Barrage. The Echo can throw down the Parallel Convergence. Now, London, priorities drop down pretty heavily, and we'll have to see what they're going to go for in the jungle and what they're going for in the top lane if they've gone for all these top lane bans.
Looks like something that can kind of out-farm this Jarvan. It is going to be the Nidalee for Warden here. Now, the thing for me is I've been curious what the top lane pick is for Bear Tree, because obviously they've wanted to ban away a lot of these top laners from Kira. They wanted to get themselves in as good of a matchup, but he is blind picking here in the top side. What do they want to pick up for Bear Tree?
I mean, it better be something good, because you go 5 top lane bans.
Got
the ear got.
What do you make of that?
I mean, if he picks Maokai, he's going to get butchered here, is what I'm saying. Malphite isn't quite as bad, but it's still not exactly great. But this is what I expect from Kira. This is why, to me, all those bans seem a bit weird, because to me, in my eyes, as much as he did play Wukong, to me, in the qualifiers, he was playing a lot more of these weak side champions. Aatrox, actually, decent matchup. You can definitely keep the Urgot at bay. So if you want to challenge him in the matchup, then yeah, go for the Aatrox. Ultimately, I feel like Bulldog have come out of here a little bit better. I think London have to apply the early pressure. I think they need the momentum. Their bot lane is based around being able to punish this Thresh. The Nidalee needs to be farming up a Storm and to be punishing the Jarvan early before he just becomes more relevant as a tanky team fighter. And mid lane, as much as the Echo is a counter, in the early laning phases, the Syndra can just bully him. So I'm looking at London to set the pace that we expect from them. If this is the best team in the league, London, they should crush this in the early game, and we should be looking for the game to be over at 20 to 25 minutes. If this is not the London that is the best team in the league, then they will struggle in the early levels. Some lane will start bleeding, and Bulldog will look to bounce back.
Now, we did see from London, they fell behind yesterday, but they showed us their one of their biggest strengths in the league is their ability to be like this incredible team fighting team. They seem to be one of the best team fighting teams we have, if not the best team for that. The question to me is, can they make it work with this comp? If they snowball, yes, but if they fall behind, what do you feel like their team fighting's like? Do they have that capability, or are you just confident enough within London's team fighting to actually pull through?
I mean, I'm not sure I'd agree if they're the strongest team fighting team in the league. I think there are other teams who have shown they've had the ability to do that better. I think even M&M have found ways to sort of team fight themselves on the whole. I feel like really you just have extremely strong individual members on London who can step up and pop off. I think it's less so just them as a unit. I think yesterday their composition was just so good at team fighting. You have the AoE shields, you have the great frontliner. I think it was more a composition-based thing, and I don't think they have that here. Now, I'm not going to say this and be like, oh, there's no way London win team fights late, because as I said, individually these members are really strong. I just think it gets difficult. Blitzcrank, unless you're getting high-value targets with the grab, you're not going to be making a massive impact. Misfortune as well, you need people to be in your ultimate. If you look at the side of Bulldog, everyone on the team, I mean, it's hard to rocket grab an Echo. Rocket grabbing an Ezreal often doesn't do much, and then in Italy just falls off so hard. I think that if it gets to the team fighting phase and London win team fights, it is because they are just that much better.
Alrighty, well, we loaded through onto the Rift for our final game of week 2 of the UKLC. Yesterday was scrappy on every front. Every game was so back and forth. Today we've had a little bit more of that, but not maybe as much. The chips are starting to fall, and our power balance is starting to kind of be outlined in this season. This is our final game. We're finding out where London sit, where Bulldog sit, moving into week 3.
The jungle is starting on the top side of the map. Does potentially set this bot lane as a point of interest. Priority could well be an important thing. Be interesting to see who tries to push for priority first, because Misfortune can push faster than Ezreal, but the Thresh has the advantage over the Blitzcrank level 1. Jacob and Garish actually going for a long route to lane, so they will be unable to really contest priority if Raisins and Golden God secure it. Pretty important if both these junglers are pathing towards bot side as to who gets the scuttle. But it was London favored anyway, just because of the Syndra into the Echo. But you can see now, they were late to lane. There's no way they contest this.
There's the tilty thumbs up coming in from Jacobs, just to let Raisins know he missed that hook.
This is a one window where Raisins can land a grab, and it's not going to get Arcane shifted. By the positioning, not really possible. So they do shove the wave in. They're going to go get some vision down. We've got to be a little bit cautious with how deep the ward goes, because they could be collapsed right now. Nidalee far away. But looks like they'll throw it down. They get the information, and they can back straight off.
But they do seem to be aware for the side of Bulldog on where that ward went down. The pings obviously catching them out. They were saw on that scene on that ward at the river. Yeah. Just spotted them going into that opening into the jungle. So London do get the ward, but the knowledge is there. And now Girish and Jacob feeling a little bit more comfortable. Jacob probably has his arcane shift now. Level 2's been picked up. He wants to be as safe as possible. And looks like Fortel's making a roam down. Warden has spotted him out, and they know he's there. Fortel actually could just get caught out. Gets caught by the knockup. The hook is going to get flashed. As Warden's looking for his spear, will find it as he jumps in, gets hooked, but first blood picked up onto Warden. He's going to get flayed. He's going to get ignited, but they continue to chase onto Jacob. Raisins flashes forward, gets the igniting. Golden God picks one up himself. It's a 2 for 1 in the bot side.
Yeah, a little bit messy at the end from Warden. I feel like he jumped in a weird direction with the pounce, but they get the kill on the Fortile. Good punish there. And then Raisins with the confidence to finish off Jacob. So nicely played. And we said this London side needed momentum. They've already got it. Look at the item difference between these 80 carries. Double Doran's Longsword versus Doran's and a Cull. This MF is already going to feel a lot stronger. Right now, Warden's looking for Thomas
actually finds Thomas, goes in with the spear, goes in with a flash. Thomas has to get the shield off. Can he get the stun? He's not going to find it. Warden, 2-1 on the Nidalee right now. And now he's hunting for Fortel. Girish is about. They do have that spear. They do have the chase capability. But he does just step away. Loses out on the crab. Teleport's going to get used by Thomas as he gets picked off once again.
Just got to say, just brilliant use of the vision from Warden. He knows exactly where to stand, exactly where to wait, find someone rotating over, and then is easily able to pick up the execute with that Nidalee. The damage on that on the Q when she's in Cougar form, just so much available once you've landed that spear. And 2-1-1 on the Nidalee already is a good start. Exactly what London needed in this game.
Want to at least get this bot lane crab here. We've got 10 seconds until that Drake spawns up. Jacob getting poked out here. Golden God just holding the wave away from Jacob as much as possible.
Yeah, trying to go for a freeze here, and you can see Fortel actually moving down to Shadow so they can shove it in. Essentially, he just wants to provide them the safety so they can push the wave up, but I don't think you win this. If Nidalee shows up, and Golden God being so strong, you just kind of lose this skirmish, so they really just want to escort the wave in if they can. Raisins is fishing, but they will just back away, and the wave is still frozen.
Yeah,
I think
Fortel
it should
really
break here, though.
There.
It will bounce in this situation. So they got what they wanted, but it's still not ideal. You can see Jacob actually opts to stay because he knows it's going to push back pretty fast.
One looks to head out. Got the shove in the mid lane. Bot lane now working its way up in London. They're going to shift their attention towards this Drake. They want to get their hands onto that. Fortel, not comfortable to move into this pit. It's only the first Drake. He doesn't feel like giving up any more over to London, who've already accelerated themselves ahead here.
There's no reason to risk it. You don't have the priority bot lane. Jacob is weak and low on HP. Give it up. Look to contest later dragons. I think that's the thing more than ever with dragons in the current meta. Since the changes, one dragon just means so little. You know, especially like an individual dragon offers very little in terms of actual stats compared to what they used to be. It's only really when you get to the soul that it's really impactful. Like, I'm not going to say it's not worth anything, because it obviously is. But it's just really not too impactful, especially if it's only a unique one. I think dragons get stronger when you have multiples of the same type, because then the health regen becomes significant. The AD or AP scaling becomes significant. The resistances as well. Whereas really having like an ocean and like a single ocean, single infernal is not going to really change the state of the game.
Let's talk about the items that are starting to come through, because we obviously were talking about the bot lane advantage picked up with the longsword. He's now got himself the attack speed boots, and so they might just find a little pick onto Girish. He's going to take a spear, flashes away. Wouldn't actually miss the hop there as he kind of just face banged the wall. Girish loses his flash.
Yeah, he went for the quick hop for the damage to burst him. Realistically, he wasn't going to get him anyway. He's just too high on HP to execute from there, and you don't want to chase him over the wall. But they get a flash, so that's good. It was nearly swapped from both teams, except for this Herald. With the Dragon being down, it's not super high priority. And neither team opted to punish on the bot side of the map, which is important. They both opted to match, so no one loses out here. But it does mean London, they're able to achieve priority here and try and get some vision control for that Herald. Girish has to be super careful now. Being flashless on the Thresh means you are a vulnerable target against a Blitzcrank.
The burst there coming in from Golden God. The hook lands onto a minion from Girish, and it looks like with the pressure they've managed to mount themselves in this bot side of the map, London will be the team who can go get the Herald.
Yeah, they also spot Fortel on the bot side of the map. They just spot him on that ward near the river. So they know exactly where the enemy jungler is. They know this is extremely low risk. And even you can see how willing Raisins is. He just walks in the enemy jungle, gets a very deep ward. So by all means, London in control right now. This could potentially be a 4-man collapse because Syndra keeps floating over. Chimera looking to potentially move. They think better of it. I think they saw Fortel rotate over and they don't want to commit too heavily in this situation. Again, they're ahead. Why risk it?
Looks like they're not looking to swap back anytime soon, though, for the moment. Wards are being placed down, and Beartree's quite happy just holding Kira in this bot side of the map. He is down pretty significantly in CS, as we do take a quick look at this lane. But Warden's over still on the top side. He's just doing his camps. He's quite far away from the top lane itself, though. It looks like he's slowly working his way towards bot lane. So maybe we do see London go for a bit of a swap back now. So maybe they just look to shove one more wave before leaving.
You know how well the big thing is Dragon's coming up in about a minute 15. They've got the priority. They're going to go for the reset and move towards that side of the map. Warden is already there trying to establish control. I think just giving Battery enough space so that he can reset and go to the top side, and just a shift of priority on where you're looking to get control of, because obviously now on the bot side of the map you have that Dragon available. Fortel actually going to go for the scuttle. A little bit greedy because essentially it doesn't offer you anything right now in terms of control over the bot side of the map. And the response from Raisins and Warden is to really start to contest his vision. Herald available
down. They
here.
actually may just try and throw the Herald down here. Although, can't see that Jacob and Girish are about. Obviously, Jacob on the Ezreal doesn't have that much wave clearance. Quite a large wave that's been built up here. So Warden, they just look to place the Herald down. They're going to try and take some plates early to get that extra bonus gold as much as possible. Maybe if they can get this tower low enough, they might be able to take first Power of Blood here. Don't think they've taken enough plates, though. And with Thomas go about, it's going to get even harder. The charge will come out, and Thomas is on that flank. That's going to be Fortel getting hooked out by Raisins. Raisins goes for the ulti and for the massive negation there, but a big ultimate coming out from Golden.
He's alive!
God means he's going to be able to chunk through members, and Warden lands the spear once again. Beartree throws the ultimate out. Girish could just get killed by the Fear Beyond Death. Don't quite get enough damage. Here comes Chimera onto the flank. He's just going to flash over the wall. Look for the ultimate onto Thomas Go. Can't quite find enough damage, but he will be able to kill Girish in response. London getting first turret blood and a massive fight bot lane.
Yeah, just a huge play coming out from them. Everything landed when it needed to, realistically. They get a turnaround, and the big thing is Bulldog committed onto Blitzcrank. Raisins didn't even go down somehow, but ultimately, if you commit everything onto the support, you're not going to have a good time. We'll just get chunked out there, but still just going to be able to take this pretty easily. And I think the big takeaway there is Kara didn't even bother to TP. This Aatrox didn't even think it was worth coming down. So that's a big question mark to me. If you're going to commit for a play like that, bring all 5 members. If you're not going to bring all 5 members, don't commit to the play. It's that simple, because when London respond with 5, you will lose no matter what. Unless you massively outplay them, which is unlikely realistically to happen.
That was a big gold lead, and they do not have that gold lead. 3k up to London currently. Taking stock of the items, the Luden's Echo has been finished off onto Chimera, so he has really stellar wave clear now. Golden God building towards his Essence Reaver. Obviously, not quite there yet. But Jacob also pretty far behind at the moment. He's got his Sheen, he's got his Tear. But at the moment, he is not in a particularly strong spot in this Ezreal. And London, they're now just committing their AD carrying their support towards this mid lane. Try and get some earlier plates, get some more plates here if possible. Got a minute until those fall off. And Beartree, once again, he's happy playing this weak side. He's not really giving too much over. He's sure he's down in CS 2 Kara, but the rest of the team are for the better for it. And that double up just chunked Jacob.
Just misfortune things. I love when it like seems to curve ridiculously and still hit you. That frustrates me to no end. But either way, as you said, yeah. I mean, Beartree is further behind than he should be. He was already behind when that TP happened, which shouldn't really be the case. But ultimately, what is the point of Kara being up in CS if he's not going to join team fights?
There's a potential dive here onto Chimera. Chimera.
Okay, just stop the
He gets out the shop, and he gets the game face on.
I guess maybe Thomas Go didn't feel like he just had the damage at all.
He may have just been trying to stop the base, delay the base. Jacob can take some damage there as the Lantern makes sure he's nice and safe. This is what you were talking about. It's an ultra safe lane.
Yeah.
Even though they are 1 and 3 in the lane currently. He's just up in the wave.
Bulldog happy to play this defensive game. And we did say if they get to the later stages and they're all right, they will be in a good spot. But as of now, London is on par for the course to make that soul at about, you know, the 20, 23, 20, about that sort of minute mark, which is pretty early. And on top of that, being this far ahead of gold, 4,000 up. Bulldog are struggling, but if they can buy time, they do have an answer later on.
Looks like there's a bit of a play going on to Chimera here. He has that Scatter the Weak. With the Phase Rush, he's easily able to break the chains. Now Warden's making his way over. That tower still stands, but if Warden can find a good spear here, might be able to find an execute. Kira's able to get out. And Warden's not going to find that kill. Herald's been started up by London, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's enough to force Kara away. I'm not sure what the play was there, trying to go into Chimera, but he is not phased at all. London answer. They don't even need multiple members on the Herald, and Italy can do it, and that allows them to pressure out mid. You can see Beartree shoved up the bot lane pretty heavily. So Herald, second Herald picked up here by Warden, and London just continuing their control of this game.
Yeah, Warden's going to summon out the Herald as well as the base came through from Jacob, so this will just be the tower going down. Wonder if they can get a second charge off. They've committed all 5 members up here, so they may just find this.
I mean, they definitely
Thomas is waiting in the wing, so they're going to get the charge. They're not going to commit for the tower. It would be a little greedy. They've got their lead. They're happy to walk away with it. 3-1 on Warden right now. 1-0 on their Misfortune. Essence Reaver now just picked up for Golden God. And an additional crit cloak.
They just got a ton of gold. Resets come in. Dragon in a minute. This is the third. And often we see teams start to feel the pressure at the third dragon, because once that one goes down, the enemy team's at soul point, and all subsequent dragons, you not only have to like win the fight, but you also have to deny the smite. So we could see Bulldog try and respond to this one. But London have just spent, they've already gotten back out the map. You can see Thomas Go resetting, so London should have control of this area already.
Gone pretty easy to get control of the lane. Obviously, Jacob not able to cut through the wave as quick as Golden God is currently, so he's going to have to spend a little bit longer pushing this wave out, and with that, they're able to move their members down towards this bot side and start up the dragon. It looks like Fortail isn't even interested in going for it. Bear Tree having a bit of a trade versus Kira, but he's not overly invested in actually fighting. Like we said, he just wants to play weak side. He just wants to negate Kira. And Warden will be able to get this third Cloud Drake over to the side of London. Put them one away from that soul point.
Put them
this
on
tower's
soul.
low, remember. This could just be the tower going down, although Fortail's moved over. Golden God's going to have to make a bit of a run for it. They're going for the teleport, but the blast cone means they should be able to get away. Thomas gets the slow onto Raisins, but the rest of the team are there. And Bulldog, they used the teleport, and they got diddly squat for that.
Yeah, didn't really achieve anything. Kira does finally try and join the fight, but doesn't find much. They'll push in mid. But London handle it. And Jake, so Soul Point is when you're one away. So when you say one away from Soul Point, that means they're on 2 dragons.
Yeah, my brain's a little all over the place right now.
It's cool.
Don't worry, mate. We got 2 more days of casting coming up.
Can't wait. But I will admit, like, despite the fact that London are ahead, this game has felt very slow. You know,
yes.
There hasn't been a ton of action. It's been a little back and forth. And this is the refined style that London can afford to go with. I don't feel like they have to be forcing constantly. It's just control, play around the map. And it has favored them so far in this match, as much as it may not be the most entertaining to watch. Now, 4 minutes on that Cloud Dragon, that's going to be an explosive part of the game. Or potentially we could see something get forced out here. But for now, it's kind of just waiting. And it feels like the pressure has been building steadily. More items being picked up. And Bulldog will eventually get to the point where they're like, okay, we have to do something now.
One of the things you were talking about at the beginning of the game as well was the ability to kind of apply this early pressure and the momentum for London. And you're seeing this is momentum, this is early pressure being used without kind of just snowballing off kills. Obviously, they have 6 kills. They got a 5-kill lead over Bulldog, but it's really about just the lane pressure they're able to get, the threat that this team is into Bulldog, and doing a really good job of using it. They're going to take down this final tier 1 turret in the top side. Chimera's going to be able to grab that. Thomas has to be careful because Raisins is waiting about. He's looking for that hook. Is an echo, so a lot of movement. And even if that hook landed, he did have the possibility to ping out there with the chrono break.
Can potentially burst him before he gets a chance, though. If you get the knock up, the ult can cause an issue. But now they're just forcing onto the tower.
Yeah, True Shot gets thrown down, but they are pressuring up here in the top side for the moment. Meanwhile, Bear Tree, he's just pressuring up in the bot lane as the spear goes down by Warden. Not going to be able to get it, but this should just be the end of the tier 2 in the mid lane. As that falls down, it is a 5,000 gold lead here or thereabouts. Over to the side of London. And they're looking to grow that even more. They're pushing up in this tier 2 top side. Hook's going to go out, just about dodged out by Thomas Go with a phase dive. Jacob just trying to catch this wave bot lane.
Take a little look at the goal graph here and just see how it's panned out over the game. Obviously, London wasn't the fastest start, but over time, they've just built up a massive advantage. Currently sitting at 5,500 at 20 minutes. And that's substantial. You can see the item difference. The Void Staff now picked up by the Syndra. Level 13, so got 2 abilities maxed and benefiting from that passive. It's now a minute and a half away from that dragon, so likely going to see London looking at get their last buys in and start setting up control over that area. If they get the soul, obviously not the most impactful, the Cloud Soul, but it does make a big difference. I think probably the most here for Nidalee. Just from the fact that you're so frequently going to have access to that extra movement speed. Obviously, it is on a cooldown of 30 seconds, but
yeah,
you can benefit. You can obviously use that basically
but
every
also the
30
core
seconds.
movement speed as well is really nice for everybody, especially the Nidalee, who gets even more from being in bushes herself. So as you kind of rotate through the jungle,
I think Irgot it's big too.
Yeah, because he can throw the ultimate out and then close the gap.
Yeah, plus just like movement speed on Irgot's huge because his biggest issue is closing the gap. So I think it's one of those ones where Cloud often gets underrated for some champions.
Oh, good hook actually. Fortail's just dead. Has to use the stopwatch to stay alive, but Golden God's going to hit the kill up. Thomas Go, he's not going to take that dive, and Warden just finds himself another kill. Down goes Kira.
Said the pressure was building up, and it just feels like it just boiled over right there. 2 members quickly go down from Bulldog. With the Dragon spawning in 25 seconds, that is not good timing. London going to apply some pressure to this bot lane tower before going for the Dragon. Currently Warden fishing for spears, but doesn't find any.
All right, well, this should just be Soul over to the side of London. Fortail's only just spawned up, and he's just pinging towards his top side. He doesn't have any interest in going towards that part of the map. And actually, if we do take a little look at the warding while this Dragon falls, obviously there's no warding over here, but also towards the Baron area, there's no warding really for Bulldog. They've got a few light wards kind of sprinkled, and they're now just about going through and clearing. But London haven't really invested too much warding themselves over here, as they were more fussed about the Dragon.
I mean, what this is you try and place a ward in an area where it doesn't get swept. You know, so Girish puts one down there. He hopes that they're not going to recognize he's put some deeper wards. The blue trinket comes down. But essentially, you're just trying to throw down wards that aren't going to be spotted. Unfortunately, it just instantly does with that control ward. So a bit unfortunate there for Bulldog. But the goal of that is you want to have some vision close to the Baron so you can see people moving around it. And also good TP wards. But if London sweep correctly, they should be able to clear those out. But for now, they're just fishing for a pick.
Yeah, Thomas is going to throw out the shield for the moment. They do catch Chimera inside the pit. The Unleashed Power is going to connect as Chimera goes golden. Thomas goes to ping out the phase dive, and in comes Golden God looking to mop up this team fight. Bear Tree teleported in. Didn't even need it, as Warden will take a little bit of damage here. Kira has to run away. And London, they find their pick onto the jungler. Misfortune's got those 2 items. They may be able to take through this Dragon really, really quick now.
By all means, should be able to in this situation. With no jungler, very hard to contest this one unless you're willing to take the fight. They are trying to group for this. TP coming in from Thomas Go. They're looking for this.
Yeah, there's do or die really for Bulldog. This could just be the final nail in the coffin for this game. Thomas Go onto that flank. Does find himself a stun, but he gets flipped and blown up as Chimera finds the kill. 4,000 health onto the Baron. You can see that the jungler's back alive, and London want to try and get this before he can join into the fight. 2,500 gold. Now they found the hook onto Girish. Girish is going to go down. The Baron looks to reset as Bear Tree throws the ultimate out. Look, he's just sticking to him. Fear beyond death. Not even necessary. The Dragon does get started up once again, and Warden can just hop over. Looking for a spear onto Fortail. Not going to quite find it as Fortail looks to try and get his way into the pit, but the smite for the side of London isn't in the pit. The Warden is just running away onto Fortail. Chimera over the wall with the Unleashed Power find the kill, and Fortail will finally fall as that spear finds its mark. An ace for London. The Baron to boot. And it feels a little doomed for Bulldog now.
Yeah, just great play from London there, and I love the patience. So the reason they waited so long on the Baron was because Warden didn't actually have his smite available. So they just stalled it. They knew there wasn't too much concern. They didn't want to risk, say, a True Shot Barrage or a Mystic Shot stealing it away. So they played it very slow. They waited for the right opportunity. They just killed off member after member. And then even at the end, even despite the fact Warden was 3 levels up on Fortail, still no point risking it when you're so far ahead. He jumps outside. Chimera follows up. They kill the last 2 members of Bulldog. And it's very easy for them to capitalize on the Baron. This has been a pretty clinical game from London. I will admit it was quite slow, but we said before the game started, we'd be looking at a fast pace from London, and we'd be looking at like that 20 to 25 minute where we're looking for the game to basically be over. And we're at 25 minutes. The game does look basically over for the side of Bulldog. London, we're very controlled here.
They didn't go slow-paced game, but it's still fairly quick as far as actual time spent is. They've obviously controlled it in a slow manner, but they've still done it in a way which is still 25 minutes on the clock.
I think you're right. I think the weirdness
it's a very weird way to word it, because from my half. Anyways, London actually are looking to get caught out here. The ultimate goes down by Golden God into a massive turnaround. All of a sudden, Bulldog have come alive. Chimera gets a massive 4th-man scatter the week come down. Bear Tree jumps in with the ultimate, gets the fear off of the Kira. Jacob's getting chunked out by Chimera for the moment, as Chimera is still alive in the fight. And Londoners turn it straight back around. A double kill onto Bear Tree, as London just blow the game back open in their favor. It was looking a little hairy there, as they will now crack open the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor in the mid lane.
There's actually a great punish there from Bulldog, and it's something that if we'd seen this 10 minutes ago, maybe it would have meant enough, but the gold lead available to London is huge. Chimera comes in, just starts decimating, and Bertie just feels really unkillable at this point and pumping out so much damage. They cut through the side of Bulldog. Despite losing 2 members almost instantly, they still find the team fight win in the inhibitor. 12,000 is the lead, and they're just going to reset.
Yeah, Golden God's going to go pick his red buff up. Let's take a look at what items are getting picked up here for Chimera. Once he goes to the base, he's got that needless large rod, so you assume this should probably be the death cap for him. Now, Warden is going to look to get this crab. Got a while until that Elder comes up still, so London don't have that as a potential win condition, but the last turret crumbles outside of Bulldog's base, and that was just to the minions. Warden jumps in, the hook. That was a little janky there, just as the phase dive went down, so Thomas was actually able to live.
And I think we're going to have a look at the gold graph here, because I want to show what I sort of mean by the fact this was slow. So the gold lead, although it is substantial here, it took a long time to go up. So for a long time, they were ahead, but not significantly. And then it did start to ramp up. And it's only, you see that massive uptick towards the end. That is really where the pace got set. So before that, I feel like the game didn't have a huge pace. It was very controlled. And it's only in these last sort of 5 minutes where London got, okay, game's over.
Big hook onto Fortail. The True Shot barrage comes down. Golden God completely untouched, but he gets stunned up by Thomas Go. He's going to have to look to peel away. Thomas instantly exhausted, though. And it's just Bear Tree running through the team. Thomas does find himself an assassination off onto Eddie Carry. Gets hooked. Bear Tree finds a triple kill. Inhibitor's going to go down as Warden is able to take out Thomas. Get revenge for his AD carry. With Bear Tree 6-0 on the Urgot, with the waves pushing in, this should just be game for the side of London. Bulldog unable to find their opening. There were a few moments towards the end where they found some pretty interesting looking fights, but they were just down too much. The gold deficit was just way too hard. And Bear Tree gonna give up on his perfect KDA for a bit of style points. This will be the end of the Nexus. 28 minutes on the clock. Make it 29. London take out Bulldog.
Jake, at the start of this, we were talking about which London would show up. I think we got our answer.
This is the London everyone predicted. This is the favorites team. They're looking so good there. Now, obviously, we do have to kind of keep in mind that that was Bulldog, who are currently 0-4. Well, are now 0-4. We're 0-3 going into this. This is a team who are in a maybe weaker state currently versus the likes of London, but it was nice to see London not making as many mistakes as they did yesterday. They played a much cleaner game. That, you know, I wouldn't even say the mistake, there were really any real mistakes. It was more just Bulldog finding some good openings and some good punishing, really.
I'd say when you're this far ahead, to have 2 members picked is a mistake. I have to give credit for Bulldog for finding it, but when that is my biggest sort of bone to pick, pretty solid game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, overall, just a really solid game coming out from London, and they're able to find that win. They're able to close out their day here. And I'm just going to take a quick look. Do we have the standings ready? I don't know. We'll find out from our production team. But hopefully, have a little look. For London, they are currently sitting... There you go. Thank you very much. For our standings, we currently got 3 teams tied in first place. It's Enclave, Demise, and London. 4 teams, sorry, because Eminem also up there. Missed that. Then we have 2 teams tied below them with Envision and Munster, and then it's Barrage and Bulldog sitting at the bottom. Now, last week I did say that after week 2 things would start to fan out. We'd have a rough idea where everyone would be sitting. Looks like I was wrong, because there's a lot of teams tied still currently between our first and our bottom. So for the moment, it really haven't had any teams kind of start to pull ahead of the rest of the pack. It looked like Enclave were potentially going to go undefeated and hold their spot at the top, but they did drop a game today, and for them, it's pretty worrying.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just a lot of teams. It depends on the form in the particular game. I feel like there are teams who have said definitely these ones look stronger, and I think for sure that's panned out. But I think game on by game, we have seen different levels from different teams, and a lot of it is about establishing the consistency over the course of the split. My big concern, though, is we saw Barrage and Bulldog at the bottom. To be 0-4 and the next closest teams are 2-2, you've got a long amount of catching up to do before you're even in the conversation for sort of competing for this.
Well, it is only, it is only week 2. There's still a lot more time to go and kind of claw back, but it is a rough start for our 2 teams currently stuck at the bottom as 0-4. Now, we have Raisins ready to go for an interview. So, Raisins, London support, how are you doing, mate, after that win?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It was a pretty chill game. We went in, we had a little bit of fun, so can't complain.
Awesome. So I just want to ask you about, because obviously we were just having a little look at the standings before you came on. There's currently 4 teams all tied for that first spot. Out of the other 3 teams up there, who do you think is going to give you the most problems?
I think Rifty is an insane player, so I'd say I'd be sleeping on him if I said any other team. I think Rifty is definitely the best player in the league at the moment. So I'd give Demise probably our biggest challenge, and then for the other teams, that's a tough one. I think every other team has had like really weird games where they just seem to be super off in their losses. So I think a lot of teams are just trying to figure out their style and draft and make sure they don't grief draft randomly in these best of ones. So yeah, Demise for sure is a good team though, I think.
So branching off of that, is there any bot lanes in particular from any team that you've sort of found a challenge in, or you've been impressed by, or maybe just like you haven't been impressed by from what you expected?
Oh, okay. I've
Come
been
out with the
impressed
flame.
by,
Come out with the flame.
Yeah. Okay, I'll start with the non-flame first. I think Envision's bot lane has impressed me a lot. I think they're actually a lot more solid than I was expecting, and they seem to be like on the same page as far as bot lanes go. I think we were expecting Bulldog's bot lane to be kind of inexperienced, and they just let us do whatever we wanted. And I think also in our first game against Munster, I think like Blue Spirits is also very inexperienced, and I think he's just kind of not got the confidence yet to punish in lane. So if against bot lanes which don't punish you, the game just kind of goes very straightforward. You take the first 2 Drakes, you swap, it's pretty simple from there. But yeah.
So obviously next week you're taking on Barrage at the beginning of next week. So 0-4. I'm assuming you guys aren't too worried about that, but after that it is M&M Academy. In the bot lane, obviously you've got Harry, and I can't remember his support. I had a complete shutdown on my brain at this point. But how are you feeling about that matchup versus M&M? Dreampire, yes, you are right. Yes. How are you feeling about that?
I'm not that afraid. I think my game against Demise was probably my worst game so far, and I think me and Goldie just griefed really hard. I think we fixed some of our problems, and we're not going to die to a random level 3 elite gank anymore. So I'm very confident that me and Goldie are probably the strongest bot lane in this tournament. I think from game 1 and like this game, we showed that once we get a lead, we can snowball it. It's just probably we're looking to maybe make sure that Dreampire doesn't get on comfort, or I don't really know. We'll take a look at how we're going to draft, but I think they're a decent bot lane though. I wouldn't say they're a bad bot.
So for you and Golden God in the bot lane, was that something that like clicked straight away, or was it something that's taken time to sort of develop?
Yeah, well, it's actually a good question, because we, as 5 players, we did like 1 trial, and then the day after the trial, we basically pretty much everyone was like, yeah, we want to play together. It kind of clicked just in general, the whole roster. We've had our ups and downs in terms of the Envision game and stuff like that, and the Demise early game, but I think as a whole, like, we're just on the same page, and our personalities match, and also like Goldie's just a really chill guy. I can never get angry or get tilted when I'm playing with Goldie. So I think as a whole, like, our team atmosphere is just like we're untiltable. So
it's good to hear that there's like a good dynamic within the team. Well, congratulations on your win, Raisins, and obviously good luck for your games next week. Thank you for joining us for our interview.
Thank you.
And for all you guys at home, obviously that was our 4th and final game of the day here at the UKLC, but there's still so much more UK League to go, because obviously this is just our feeder league. We're working up towards the NLC, which starts tomorrow. 2 days more of League of Legends action coming towards you. Obviously that's where our 4 teams from the UK and Ireland are represented with their main rosters. Teams like Fnatic, XL, Munster, and M&M, their main teams are over there, and obviously some of the other teams from the Nordic regions. Let's have a little look at our schedule though for next week and see who will be playing who. So we're starting the day out with London versus Barrage, then it's Enclave versus Envision, M&M Gaming versus Demise, and Munster Rugby versus Bulldog. For next Sunday, for the next UKLC show, what game are you most excited about, Orcs?
I think the middle 2. I think Enclave against Envision, we're seeing a weakened Enclave, a stronger Envision. We could definitely see a sort of turn of fates in that one. So I think for me, that's a big one in particular that I'd be looking towards. And then on top of that, I think you could definitely sort of argue Demise against M&M is one that potentially could be really close. They're both similar in the standings. I think actually tied with each other now. And I think both of them have had really strong aspects of them, like Rifty in the top lane for Demise and Eminem just their team play. So I think we're just getting so many close games, which I'm loving in the UKLC. It's been very difficult to call, but we're just getting really exciting matches.
Yeah, we've had some seriously fun games this week, especially yesterday where every game was just chaos. It was so hard to call who was going to be kind of beating out who. So I'm excited. I'm hoping we see more of that next week. Honestly, from the level we've seen so far, I think that's probably something we can expect to see more of. But thank you very much for joining us here, guys, for this week's UKLC. Like I said, the main show in the NLC will be kicking off tomorrow. We'll be joined once again by Orcs, Scoundrel on the host, and then obviously we have Veteran, Bulldog, and Troublelink all joining us as well. So it's a much bigger show as far as talent goes, and a lot more in-depth breaking down on all of the games. So thank you very much for joining us here for this week's UKLC. We'll be back tomorrow with more NLC, but if you just want to watch UKLC, we'll be back on Sunday, same time, same place on the BBC iPlayer, and obviously on twitch.tv/NLC LOL. Thank you very much for joining. My name has been Hiprain, and I am joined by Nintendo 64 quality Orcs. We will see you next week.
See ya.